On October 23, 1996, D.W. Reed's beloved pet parakeet Spanky suddenly passed away. He was laid to rest at a private funeral in the Reed family's backyard. While his relationship with the anthropomorphic members of the home were complicated, it's clear that he will be missed. One thing that remains unclear, however, is how the bird died in the first place. He just wasn't feeling well one morning, and at the next moment, he was gone from this world. So I decided to closely examine the few glimpses of Spanky that we get to see, and try to determine just how he kicked the bucket. One possible cause of death that we can likely rule out is old age. Given the flashbacks we've seen, it could have been more than a year since he was taken into the Reed household. After all, D.W. looks pretty much the same as the day she got him, as she did when he passed. While it is possible that he was older in age when D.W. bought him, he probably wasn't all that old given how spry he was up until the day he died. There's also the possibility of potential natural causes. After all, it's not uncommon for someone to be healthy one moment, only for it to turn out that there was an underlying health issue that wasn't brought to light until it's too late. However, I have reason to believe that Spanky passed away from not-so-natural causes. The first culprit you might suspect is none other than D.W. Obviously, she didn't intentionally kill her bird. But it also doesn't take a genius to know that 4-year-olds are not exactly model pet owners, especially not one to animals as small and fragile as a parakeet. Hell, she was even going to give him tea and a cough drop when she noticed he wasn't feeling well. Not exactly part of a vet-recommended diet. Of course, in a situation such as this, the parents would be to blame for being so passive in the first place regarding letting their preschooler have a bird. Which is some real bullshit, considering they gave D.W. a bird with no strings attached, but Arthur had to prove himself before he could get a dog. It's not like Spanky never caused any trouble for the Reed parents.
Spanky, I'll never forget the time you got loose in my kitchen and you didn't eat a single poppy seed. Thanks.
But despite these dubiously placed responsibilities, I don't think improper pet care from D.W. is to blame for Spanky's untimely demise. So let's look to Arthur Reed, who arguably had it out for the bird more than anyone. Your first instinct might be to guess Arthur slipped in some poison to be rid of the annoying avian once and for all. But as we all know, Arthur doesn't hurt pets, just his siblings. However, I have reason to believe that he still played a part in the death of Spanky, albeit indirectly. Take a look at this flashback showcasing Spanky's mischievous streak. Did you catch that? Let's look at it again. As we can see here, Spanky not only stole Arthur's shoelace right off his shoe, but swallowed it whole like a worm. It's already not a good thing when a human swallows something that can't be properly digested. Now imagine something as long as a shoelace being eaten up by a tiny parakeet. It's surprising that he didn't choke to death right then and there. Alas, it wouldn't be long before Spanky managed envious shoelace swallowing. That shoelace was probably resting in his stomach for at least several days, since it could be probably passed through such a small body. This also meant that the poor bird couldn't receive any nutrients during that time, and thus wasted away. While Spanky might have been kind of dumb, it's hard to blame a bird for gobbling up something that looks very similar to what it might eat out in the wild. So I think through this investigation, there are a few lessons that can be learned. For one, be sure not to leave any easily swallowed objects laying around where animals can access them. And if they do end up swallowing something they shouldn't, you should call for help right away. Additionally, you shouldn't leave any kind of animal in the sole responsibility of a small child. Most of all, though, we can once again conclude that the Reed parents suck as usual and are a danger to both their animals and their children. Which means that this investigation can be summed up as, don't be like Jane and David Reed.